And now, from the combined newsrooms of KARK4 and Fox 16, breaking news coverage.
And hello, everyone. I'm Mitch McCoy here at KARK4 and Fox 16. It's 12:14. We have breaking news. The officer involved in the Bradley Blackshire shooting back a couple of years ago has resigned. This coming just a few moments ago from a letter of resignation sent by Charles Starks to the Little Rock Chief of Police. This was a resignation that some may find shocking, some others may find it expected. So obviously very, very mixed depending on who you ask about this letter of resignation that was made public today, that letter of resignation sent today. Let's right off the bat get to the letter of resignation sent in by Charles Starks, the Little Rock police officer who has now resigned. This, and I understand it might be difficult to see here in this photograph. Let me go ahead and read it to you in parts. In this letter of resignation, Charles Starks calls the working conditions intolerable, saying that the chief of police, Chief Keith Humphrey, has made it intolerable, saying, quote, "I have been treated by you or at your direction since having to use deadly force to protect myself," saying that that is why he had to submit that letter of resignation. This is also in parts to what Charles Starks said in his letter of resignation, again sent today. He says, quote, "My fellow officers have been substantially supportive, but that doesn't overturn the manner in which you have treated me or caused me to be treated. A large percentage of the public have been supportive. The city of Little Rock has not been supported." So a letter of resignation coming in today, just a little bit ago. Again, this was the letter sent in by the lawyer for Charles Starks, who was representing him during this ongoing battle in the courtroom. We can actually look at this video sent in, not video sent in, but video from this was the Civil Service Commission hearing. This is when members of the civil service were listening to Charles Starks. At that point, he was a fired police officer. The civil service decided not to give him his job back. And at that point, he appealed that decision to a higher court. And, well, shouldn't say higher court. He appealed it to a court. And that is when the court overturned the Civil Service Commission hearing, and they decided to give him his job back. The court did. And that was a county court, if I remember correctly. So if you recall, the decision to fire Starks was made by the Little Rock Police Chief, Keith Humphrey, and that was a decision that did not really fall in line with the chain of command. So when I say that, his sergeant, his lieutenant, his captain at the time, the assistant chief at the time, all thought that Charles Starks did not violate a department policy, and it turned out at that point he did. That is the chief of police right there in that photograph, and that is when the chief thought that he did violate that policy, and he decided to terminate Charles Starks. Charles Starks then appealed it to civil service in the courts. Charles Starks is on the force right now. He submitted his 2-week notice today, just a few moments ago, at the Little Rock Police Department. I'm going to get into some of your Facebook comments here as we start to follow news that broke just a little while ago about Charles Starks, Little Rock police officer who has been at the center of a ongoing courtroom battle, has resigned. If you recall this shooting back in February of 2019, this was Bradley Blackshire. Little Rock police at the time said that on February 22nd that Blackshire had been pulled over for driving a car that police said at the time was stolen. That is scene video right there. That video has really been the center of this investigation. what we've learned was that at first, when the traffic stop was made, Officer Starks got out of his patrol car. Police said Blackshire then accelerated and hit him. Police say as Starks was being hit, that is when Starks fired his gun. And so the Pulaski County prosecutor got involved. The prosecutor decided that this did not warrant criminal charges, and Charles Starks was cleared of any criminal wrongdoing, but was later found by the Little Rock police chief to be in violation of department policies, which the civil service upheld the Chief Humphrey's decision, and a court overturned that Civil Service Commission decision. And the last we heard, the city of Little Rock had appealed that court decision. It would then head to the Supreme Court. At this point, that will likely not happen, as Officer Charles Starks submitted his letter of resignation this morning to the Little Rock Police Chief, Keith Humphrey. A letter, the resignation letter, right here. Let me actually click over. This is the letter of resignation right here. It was dated today, September 11th. It was sent to Chief Humphrey. The title of it, Letter of Resignation. About 3 paragraphs wrong, saying that the working conditions were intolerable. You can actually, right now on our website, go to krk.com, fox16.com, and you can read that letter of resignation, again sent just a few moments ago, earlier this morning, to the Little Rock Chief of Police. If you're just joining us, a lot to unpack this morning as we learn that Charles Starks, a Little Rock police officer, has resigned from the department. The decision, the letter sent this morning, it was a letter of resignation sent today, and the lawyer telling us that this was a 2-week notice. So Charles Starks right now still on the force as this letter of resignation was sent today. The letter of resignation, again, you can read on our websites right now, and we have that available for you, including a case timeline on how all of this has transpired. You know, it is somewhat interesting as we talk about this case that there was a lot of speculation during the Civil Service Commission and during the court battles if Charles Starks would actually stay on the force, be on the force, if the decision was made to give him his job back. That was a lot of the rumblings around the police department, very unknown if that would happen. It was later determined in an exclusive interview with me and Charles Starks. Charles Starks said, no, I want my job back. I'm going to be a member of the Little Rock Police Department. So we had that cleared up. And then this letter of resignation sent this morning to the Chief of Police. So that is the very latest. That's what we know. A lot of you guys talking on Facebook right now and talking, engaged in that conversation. I encourage you to click the link on our Facebook page right above. You can get a case timeline, get updated on the background on this story. That's the Civil Service Commission video that you are seeing from when this was all going through that system of Charles Starks originally trying to get his job back. But that is what we know as of right now, as we come on here on Facebook and talk a little bit about the letter of resignation sent this morning by Officer Charles Starks to the Little Rock Chief of Police. He has submitted his letter of resignation after, I guess it would be nearly 3 years since that, after that deadly shooting over on Rodney Parham and 12th Street. But that is the very latest on what we know. For now, I'm Mitch McCoy. We'll have breaking news as it happens all day long right here on Facebook and on all of our social media platforms throughout the day. But for now, I'm Mitch McCoy. I hope you have a great afternoon.
This has been breaking news coverage from the combined newsrooms of KARK4 and Fox 16. We